what's going on? Gaming Jake here. Ear is itching. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch that was revealed this morning. First of all, I can see exactly what you guys are seeing, my face cam. I'm looking at it right now, and I can see the glare on my glasses. The thing is, the reason why I'm wearing them for this face cam video is because I have a list on my computer of everything that I found in the trailer that I wanted to show you with you guys. And I can't do that with my glasses because I'm as blind as a bat. Speaking of which, they need cleaned. Seriously. So, I'm just going to cut this part out. Alright, so we're back. And I have the list pulled up now, except for that just makes my glasses even more. You know, what I could do is I could actually dim the lighting of my computer. But then, actually, no, I can read that perfectly. Okay, so that dims the lighting a little bit, and y'all could see me a little bit better. Or worse, because I don't know how my eyes look through my glasses. This is why I don't like my glasses in pictures, or videos, for that matter. But, so, sorry, that was loud. I have a list here of everything that I noticed in the Nintendo Switch/NX trailer that came out this morning. I've written everything I noticed in the trailer down. So I'm just going to be sharing this with you guys. A lot of this you may be like, well, duh, and a lot of it you'll be like, oh, I didn't know that, or I didn't see that, or I saw it, but I just didn't think too much into it, stuff like that. So, basically an analysis, but I don't want to be like I don't want to edit the trailer to where I have to show the same clip 4 times over until I get my point across. So I'm just going to be playing the trailer on a loop, as you guys can see, up, left, right, somewhere around me, and I'm just going to go over it. And if the time I talk about, or the thing I talk about in the trailer just happens to be with the actual trailer showing, then good. If not, I'm going to be talking about something that may or may not be actually around me. So that actually felt good, just moving around, because I'm looking at my face and I can just imagine in my head. But with that being said, let's get started. I'm highlighting everything so I can differentiate what's all on my computer. Alright. So to start off, mainly the thing that everybody's like freaking out about is the Nintendo Switch sides, the part that has the ABXY and the analog sticks. Those are portable. They're detachable to and fro controllers, and they're also independent. What does that mean? Well, first of all, this was actually predicted and it was leaked the longest time ago about the NX. A lot of people already knew this about the NX. It was pretty much confirmed, because Nintendo said a while back that they wanted to create a non-competitive system that's one of a kind. And with this leak, that completely matched what Nintendo had said, so therefore it just fit right together, and a lot of people thought that the leak was legit, and time over, the leak was just completely quiet. There were no more leaks about the NX, but there was one a while back ago that I covered that ended up being fake, but still. So this is actually real, obviously. The sides of the controller are portable. There's the spots where there's the analog stick and the ABXY. ABXY. Those two areas are portable. For instance, here's my Nintendo New 3DS. Basically, I'm just taking this portion and this portion and detaching them from that bottom screen. So, and what you can do is you can play with the screen. So, for example, here's my DS. I'm just going to put it on my computer, right there. I don't think you guys can see my 3DS screen, but there's my 3DS screen, and in my hand, I have the side that has the analog stick, and the side that has the ABXY. I'm looking at the screen, and I'm playing with these two things in my hand, similar to how a nunchuck and Wii Remote play with the Wii. So, it's not too foreign for Nintendo fans, but at the same time, it's going to feel a bit weird. They also have L and R triggers, and this is the second thing. I'm moving on, by the way. The analog/ABXY areas, they have L and R triggers. This isn't weird. If anything, this makes sense because playing with them like a Nintendo nunchuck, I mean, the nunchuck has the Z button, which is the trigger, and the Wii Remote has the B button, which is the trigger. So it's going to feel very similar to that, actually, playing the Nintendo Switch on a TV or looking at the screen with both of the sides of the controller in your hand. Next is the analog and ABXY areas are flat, excluding the triggers. What does this mean? It means that's how thin the sides are. Maybe a little bit more thin, obviously, but they're pretty thin. This is my math book, by the way, for school. So they're pretty thin. that's not too bad. It's not, I mean, like, it's not something that a whole lot of people are actually taking notice in, but they are noticing that, you know, they're detachable, they're attachable. But with them being flat and having L and R triggers, it's going to feel a bit weird playing those diagonal, which I'm about to talk about, actually, after a few more things. There is a Switch Pro controller, which we saw in the trailer. It doesn't, as far as I could tell, looking at the Switch Pro controller, it doesn't have a portable analog / ABXY area. So, we know that there are two types of controllers for the Nintendo Switch. There's the Switch Pad, which is very similar to the pad, oh, it's not over there. Where is it? My gamepad's usually over there by my bed. But one controller is very similar to this, except for these two sides right here from my fingers. These two are detachable, obviously. I just had a voice crack. These two sides here are detachable, leaving the screen. Then there's a PlayStation controller, which, excuse me, I had to yank it by cord. Okay, then there's a controller for the Nintendo Switch that's very similar to this. It has these two parts right here, where you can hold it, and then right here where the analogs are, and the ABXY and circle, X, triangle, and square, that's where you put the two sides of the controller. So, point is, there's an actual controller like this that is non-detachable, non-attachable, and it's very, very similar to a Nintendo WiiU Pro controller, which is basically just a cross of a PS3 controller and an Xbox controller. It's as bulky as an Xbox, but it's as smooth as a PS3. So my nose keeps itching. I'm sorry, guys. I don't think I explained that in the best way as possible. What was I talking about? The Pro controller? Okay, so basically, me personally, I don't think the Pro controller's ABXY and analog areas are detachable, and nor do I think you can attach ABXY and analog areas onto the Pro controller. If that makes any sense, if that confuses you guys, I apologize. You just got to put two and two together and think of what I said in your own ways and terms. Man, my nose. And I spelled Consul wrong. I spelled it as council. So the consoles may be able to use local wireless to play with one another. This is seen at the timestamp of 058, 156, and 247. At 058, I'm not sure when that's implemented. That may be when the guy is in the airport and he's with the girl. They may not be playing together. He just may be showing her something. But it does look like that they're about to play together until he gets on the plane. At 156, I believe, the girl in the apartment goes down to play with her friends, and her friends are... Or no, 156 was the NBA guys. It was the basketball guys. I believe so, at least. The NBA guys, or the basketball players, are playing basketball with 1 and 2 Nintendo Switches. So obviously, with the Nintendo Switches, they have 2 Nintendo Switch screens, or pads, in front of them, and they have 4 controllers, because both sides of the Nintendo Switch, I want to say, are equal. Besides the L and R triggers, obviously, I want to say that both of them have ABXY and an analog stick. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for one-player games like Skyrim, but it makes absolute perfect sense for games like... For multiplayer games like NBA or Mario Kart, because you have more buttons. Because on one side of the controller, one player has ABXY, the other player has an analog stick, or a D-pad, and the other has the one. I'm sorry. You have one side right here with ABXY and an analog stick. This side, you have an analog stick and a D-pad, which is that part right there. This thing. The thing that was on the original Nintendo DS, and I believe the Game Boy as well. So, and I know I feel like I'm really unprofessional right now, but at the same time, I feel like I'm free roaming, and that's what I want to do in my videos. So, excuse me. So again, local wireless, 058, 156, and 247. Those were the timestamps that I found local wireless in the game. Discs or cartridges. Similar to that of a Nintendo DS. The thing is, though, in the Nintendo cartridges were shown at two parts of the trailer. A lot of people only think one. It was at 058 where the guy is putting it into his actual Switch, and that's the part where everybody knows. 106 is when the guy is in the airplane and he's putting his headphones, the aux cord, into the Nintendo Switch. A lot of people don't notice this, but it's very similar to this, right up here where the aux cord area is, okay? Right next to it was a little slot where you put in the game. If you turned the image upside down and slanted it a little, it said game card. So that also, obviously proves if you weren't, if you weren't provoked? No. But if you weren't sold on the fact that there being cartridges from the first part where he actually inserts a cartridge into the console, then it actually flat out says game card right there. So cartridge or card, it's the same thing. Games on the Switch include, and these are basically the games that were on the Switch during the trailer. The Legend of Zelda WiiU, also known as Breath of the Wind or Breath of the Wild, one or the other, I can't ever remember. Super Mario Switch, which a lot of people are predicting is Super Mario Galaxy 3. I'm fine with either. Mario Kart 8 or a new Mario Kart installment, Skyrim and Splatoon. I do want to talk about the Mario Kart 8 / Switch, Mario Kart 9 maybe. I do want to talk about that. It's obviously different than the Wii U version. A lot of people have noticed that. For Mario Kart players, Player 2... Sorry, I'm losing my breath, and I'm getting it back. So a lot of Mario Kart players, who actually know all the characters of Mario Kart 8, know that King Boo is not playable. In the Nintendo Switch trailer, somebody was playing as King Boo, and if you even zoomed in closer, you could see that King Boo and Mario, Player 1 and Player 2, they had 2 items at a time. I think one had 2 red shells, the other had 2 mushrooms, but they had 2 items at a time. So a lot of people are thinking that because we have a new character and a new item installment, then that means that that we're getting a new Mario Kart game. However, a lot of people are saying not necessarily, because if you look at near the middle of the screens, the area where it has the coins and where it keeps track of your coin number, and something else was down there, I forgot what it was, your place, I think, and then the map is very, very reminiscent of Mario Kart 8. So it looks exactly like Mario Kart 8, but in-game details were changed, such as number of items you can hold and who you can play as, obviously. So whether or not this is a new Mario Kart or just an updated version of Mario Kart is completely in the wind. Legend of Zelda? No. It's just completely in the wind as of now, and it's not really something that you can really dig deep and look for because nothing has been said about a new Mario Kart. At least at the time I'm recording this video. I'm not on social media or anything as of now. My phone's right here and I'm recording. So as I'm talking, making this video, a bunch of stuff about the NX can be revealed that I haven't put down yet. So as of 5:35 Central Time in the US PM, this is everything that I know about the NX that I got from the trailer. I already mentioned King Boo, and you can have 2 items, obviously. Okay, back to the analog areas. The analog / ABX areas are about as long as the average adult's middle finger. People are, you guys are probably like, what does that even matter? If you look at 146, we can see the Mario Kart player playing Mario Kart. My nose is killing me, and I apologize. But you can see the Mario Kart player holding the... I don't know what to call it. But you can see him holding this part of the controller, where it splits right here. We got the analog stick and the D-pad in his hand sideways. So he's holding it sideways, and what's weird about that is you have the trigger also holding. So it's like holding half of this, basically. It feels a bit weird, and this isn't here. It's flat. Make this flat, and then you have your Nintendo Switch ABXY. No. But basically is I compared the thing that he was holding in his hand, the ABXY analog area, and I compared it to his index finger, and I was like, it's a little bit longer than his index finger, and I go, what else is a little bit longer than your index finger? And it's a middle finger. So, and I don't want to point at my middle finger because I don't want to flip people off, so I'm holding it sideways, even though it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. But I believe that the area that has the ABXY and the analog is about as long as a person's middle finger. And when you think about it, let me get my 3DS here. So is the 3DS area. So it's very reminiscent to older consoles when it comes to areas like that. When you compare it to a gamepad, it's not necessarily that lined up, but at the same time, I'm 16, I'm not an average adult, so I just got big hands or small hands or whatever. So that's one thing about the size of the areas on the side. When I looked at that, it looked like I was doing something else. I apologize. But next up, and that time span was at 146. I know I already said that, but I was just clarifying that. Another thing about the analog and ABXY areas is that they can be played vertically and diagonally, depending on the game, of course. I already talked about that when I just mentioned the Mario Kart thing. The fan went off. Basically, what I just said about being played vertically and diagonally, depending on the game, literally means what it says. You noticed the Mario Kart players, they were playing their controllers diagonally, sideways, whereas the guy playing Skyrim on the plane, or I think Skyrim on the plane might have been the only game, but he was playing it vertically, up and sideways. And then the people playing NBA, I'm pretty sure were playing it sideways as well. So it's depending on the game. I mean, it's the same way with a Nintendo 3DS, with the Wii U, on how you need your controllers. For instance, Mario Kart is sideways. Smash Bros. Is sideways if you don't have any attachments, such as the nunchuck or a classic controller, things like that. So, that's basically all I can say about that, but the timestamps were also 146 and 114. Systems may come with a car seat attachment. This is seen at 136. However, two things about this. One, it's most likely a bundle attachment, or two, I don't mean to be up in your face, but and two, what was two? Hold on, I lost it. Okay, or it's just a random item. By random item, I mean, you know how some people in their cars have those TV things behind the seat of behind the head of their seat, they have the TV things. Well, those TV things are obviously held by a strap. So the item that was in the trailer obviously wasn't a strap, it was an actual stand, but it just goes to show that you can attach the Nintendo Switch screen onto a strap or onto an attachment that was shown in the trailer. Or the actual thing that they showed in the trailer, which is like a selfie stick that you attached to the seat itself. Like, it was right around here. Yeah, the stick that they attached to the seat itself, it was a pretty big stick. Maybe 1.5 feet. But the thing that they attached it to was the seat, and it stuck out, and you could put the screen in there. So that may have just been a random item too, but it may be a bundle pack, or it may come with the actual system itself. And if that's the case, then that is amazing. That way people don't have to pay $15 more for a stick. So that's literally all it is. Does it improve your gameplay? If you're playing 2-player in the car, yes, it improves your gameplay. Next up is you may be able to have one or more Switch pad, which is what I'm calling the gamepad, but the thing that was on the Switch. The Switch pad per system. This is seen at 212. I'm trying to remember I don't have the trailer pulled up on my computer, but I'm trying to remember what image I had for 212. So basically, first of all the timestamps I'm giving you, what I want you guys to do with this is take note of all the timestamps if you want to, if you want to dive into it. Look at all the timestamps and go through the trailer and look at each of the timestamps I'm giving you and see if you see what I'm seeing. That's basically what all these timestamps are for you guys to understand and see what I see. And if I missed something that you guys saw, let me know and give me the timestamp so I can see it. But you may be able to have more than one Switch pad per system. I can't remember exactly what part of the trailer that was, but that's at 212. So next is Amiibo support, which I actually remember this. This was at 225. This was the girl picking up her Switch pad to go outside and play with her friends. You could see there were Amiibos. How are these Amiibos going to obviously connect with the game? I want to say it's most likely going to be a Nintendo 3DS, Wii U sort of thing, to where you either, for the DS cases, you put it on the bottom screen. For the Wii U case, you put it on the NFC port right here. My finger's over it. The NFC port right there. NFC, yeah. on the NFC port to the left of the gamepad. You may actually have to put it on the screen, or they may do something similar to what Skylanders and Disney Infinity do. You have a separate plate or portal, a lot of people call it, and you put the figures on that. That way you don't have to dirty up your screen. That way you don't have to worry about pressing too hard with your figure on the screen. Just stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure the screen's durable, and I'm sure that the screen can withstand maybe a fingerprint or two or a punch. But I mean, at the same time, this is a very diligent system, and it's very thin. As far as we know, gaming consoles are getting more thin and thin and thin, and it makes them more weak. So, or not as strong, I guess. I mean, like, the NES compared to the Wii U, the NES can take a lot. The Wii U, I don't think, can take nearly as much as the NES. But, hey, I mean, like, the more they update their game systems, the more better they're going to be, and not just gaming sense, but an all around. So, hey, you know, that's in the air too. The Mario Switch game may be locally multiplayer, seen at 237. At 237, this is when the girl goes outside to play with her friends. We see before she goes outside, she's playing the Mario game for the Switch. When she goes outside, we can't see what's going on the Switch pad, meaning she could have switched games, or she could still be playing Mario. If she's playing Mario, then we know that she's playing with a friend. This proves that the Mario game is multiplayer, which makes sense because Mario games are typically multiplayer. They've been from the start with, I don't think Donkey Kong was the first multiplayer. I think just regular Super Mario was the first Mario multiplayer. However, the Donkey Kong one may have been. Sorry. What was I saying? Oh yeah, or she switched games. So that's pure speculation because we can't see what's going on with her friends on the actual pad. System local player. I talked about this a minute ago with the NBA people and with the girl at the airport with the guy. System local player seems concrete with Splatoon tournament. The Splatoon tournament, we had 8 people connect their Nintendo Switch pads to play Splatoon. So this pretty much just guarantees local player, unless the actual dome that they're playing in has their own Wi-Fi. And I know that that's a stretch, and that's making a storyline out of a trailer, which is stupid and ridiculous, at least in my opinion, but it's possible. I mean, like, at the same time, if you go downtown, I live in Nashville, Tennessee, so if you go downtown to the Bridgestone Arena, they have Wi-Fi. If I wanted to, I could take my Wii U there and play my Wii U at Bridgestone Arena. They might be using the actual dome's internet system to play with each other, or they may be playing locally. This, I mean, like, local multiplayer was seen earlier with the guys at the basketball court playing NBA, so it wouldn't be too far of a stretch if it was local multiplayer, but 8 systems at once locally, the Nintendo DS doesn't even do that. But I mean, like, at the same time, the Nintendo Switch is supposed to be a complete improvement from the 3DS and the Wii U lines, and it's combining the two, so you never know. Next, obviously, is what we got at the end of the trailer. The release date, or the release month, is March 2017. So that's something everybody knows, and that has been speculated for the longest time. So now I'm basically going to be talking about, that's pretty much all the hardcore stuff. However, the rest, there's only like 3 or 4 more things that I'm just going to talk about. I mean, I've pretty much covered all the important stuff. If you want to go now, you can, but I'd appreciate it if you didn't. The Switch logo, the Nintendo Switch logo, I'm going to be talking about that now. It has a resemblance to yin and yang, which is an old Japanese thing of there's always good and evil, and there's always evil and good. It's a black and white ball that has, or the white side has a black dot, and the black side has a white dot. So similar to that of Pokemon Black and White, if you got the black system, you get the white dragon. If you get the white system, you get the black dragon. So it's whatever. A lot of people think it's yin and yang. I personally think it looks like a domino. That may just be me, but I think it looks like a small flipped over domino. And if it is a domino, then I'm going to say it's a reference to the original Nintendo, which a lot of people don't know about. This is Nintendo FAQ, for those of you who don't know. Before Nintendo was a gaming company, they made card games, they made board games, stuff like that. Actually, there's 3 theories as to what Nintendo was before they were a gaming company. There's one, being a love hotel. Kids under 13 do not look up what that is. So we got a love hotel, we have a taxi service, and lastly, taxi service, love hotel, and the board game thing. They made games. So if the third one is true, which I'm pretty sure it is, because the Love Hotel and Taxi Service seem really weird, I'm pretty sure the board game one's true. But if the board game one is true, then it can be seen. I was gonna say could, but then I said can. It can be seen as a throwback to the original Nintendo making board games. Because last I checked, Dominoes were a board game. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting, at least. And also, I mean, like that's speculation of what the logo resembles, but the actual logo itself is based off the two sides of the controller, the actual controllers themselves, the ABXY analog areas. So that's pretty much all it about the console. Actually, no, I have one more thing to say about the console, and then one thing to say about the trailer, but these aren't necessarily things on, I mean, they're both gaming related, but for people who care about games and want to play games and want to know how much the prices are of games, you know, game, like actual physical thing of games, then these two next things aren't for you. But it is for, like, the development side. So, first thing is long list of third-party support. So, and yeah, that actually does involve actual, like, physical copies of games to know who the developers are and stuff. But, I mean, like, if you're a 10-year-old kid and you like Pokemon, you're not going to give two craps about who makes the games. You just want to play them. So that's basically what I was getting to at that point. So I am sorry if I offended anyone. But there's Capcom, or actually, hold on. I'm just going to say the ones that I noticed out of the list. There's a huge list. There's way more than the ones that I'm listing now, but I'm listing the ones that remembered, that I saw, etc. I'm losing a lot of words in this video. I apologize. The one recognized. That's the word. I feel proud of myself. But these are the ones that I recognized. Capcom, Square Enix, Unity, Cree or Cryware, Konami, Activision, EA, which a lot of people don't know what it stands for. It stands for Entertainment Arts, I'm pretty sure. I may be one of those people. Bandai Namco, Warner Brothers, Telltale Games, and Ubisoft. None of these surprised me except for Unity. Unity surprised the absolute crap out of me when I first saw it, because Unity is mainly a computer system. It's a lot like Flash Player. And it shocks me that Unity is getting involved with Nintendo. I don't know if Unity is actually like, now I have no idea if Unity has done stuff with Microsoft and done stuff with Sony as well. But the only thing I know Unity from is the Attack on Titan fan game, because that's the program that Unity's run with. It's like the Unreal Engine 4. At least Unity has their own version of the Unreal Engine. Stuff like that. A gaming engine organization, I want to say, is what Unity may be, but I'm not too sure exactly if Unity is that, so to where they make game engines, or they actually make games, or they're a game developer, stuff like that. So I don't know what Unity's story is, but they're creeping up on me everywhere lately. I think it's cool. I love Unity for what it is and for all their works and stuff, but I do want to know more about Unity. Lastly is, did I say Ubisoft after Telltale Games? Well, Ubisoft. So, lastly is the audio in the trailer. So again, this doesn't necessarily have to do with the Switch. This is just about the music. If you want to know what song was playing during the trailer, I'm about to tell you. It's Ha 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 Yeah by White Denim. I've looked up the song, I looked up the artist. It's a really good song. I enjoyed it. I mean, like, it's catchy, it goes with the NX, and here's why. The song's message is basically expressing the one-of-a-kind theme that Nintendo wants to go for with this. I had a voice crack. It basically just expresses the one-of-a-kind feeling that Nintendo wants to go for with the Switch. Because I believe the first phrase of the song, or the first verse, is saying that it's built like a machine, it ain't like anybody else, not even Archimedes could come up with it. Is, you know, I mean, because that's what Nintendo's going for. They're wanting it to be a one-of-a-kind system that a lot of people know for. They said before that Nintendo. Let me read exactly what I have down here. Nintendo has stated before that they do not look to compete with Sony and Microsoft about the Switch, meaning this is a bit hard to explain, and people can get shots fired from this. So, with the Wii and WiiU, it basically competed with the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, the PS3, and the PS4. So those 6 systems, 2 from each company, basically competed with each other during their times of their releases. Over at E3, each of them would compete. who had the better console, IGN, and other reporters too, would get together and be like, okay, well, this console was better, we got to play this console, stuff like that. Nintendo doesn't look to do that with the Switch, and I think, I mean, like, Nintendo's already said that before, so it's news, I mean, it's not news for us, but when you actually sit down and pay attention on how secretly they, or, not secretly, I apologize, on how much they actually mean, like, on how serious they are about not competing, it skipped this year's E3. It's coming out in March next year. Last I checked, E3 takes place in the summer next year, so they're avoiding E3. They avoided E3 this year, and they're announcing it out of the blue. And I mean, like, not even in a Nintendo Direct, not even at a gaming conference, stuff like that. I mean, like, they don't want the Switch out there as a competitor, like the Wii U and the Wii were, and every other system that Nintendo has made. So, I mean, because the DS was the competitor of the PSP. Xbox doesn't have anything handheld, at least that I know of, or Microsoft doesn't at least, so there's that. But, again, I'm just going to read what I have here. Hold on. Sorry. Nintendo has stated before that they do not look to compete with Sony and Microsoft about the Nintendo Switch, most likely why the Switch has not and will not be seen at E3s or a gaming conference. When you think about it, not E3, the NX, or that's what it was codenamed, the NX, now the Switch, it never was at a gaming conference. I think they talked about it, but I don't believe they showcased it. Yeah, they definitely didn't showcase it this summer, or else I would have known about it. Everyone else would have known about it. And then this E3 that's coming up in 2017, the system would already be out by then. So there's no point in taking a console you've already released to a gaming conference about what you're going to be doing when you've already done it. So at least that's my reasoning. So when Nintendo said that they don't want to compete, they really meant it, and that's why they're slipping it between both E3s. Now I know that there are other gaming conferences such as TGS, and there's a few other ones too that happen, and I'm sure the Switch may make an appearance or two, but it definitely will not be as broadcasted from Nintendo on the level that the Wii U was. Because you have to think of it from a business standpoint, and I'm done talking about the Switch as a system itself with the trailer. So if you're done with the video, you're good to go. So I'm just now talking about marketing. There's three main companies in the gaming world, obviously. There's Microsoft, or at least in the console gaming world. There's Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. And each time they all release a new console, because if you've noticed, they've all released one around the same time. RIP WiiU. But they were all released around the same time, and they all competed against one another. It was a friendly rivalry. However, like, Microsoft obviously wants everyone to buy an Xbox. Sony wants everyone to play a PlayStation. And Wii U wants everyone to play. So, or get the Wii U. So, that's... Nintendo wants everyone to get the Wii U. Why did I say the Wii U wants everyone to get the Wii U? That's dumb. Nintendo wants everyone to get the Wii U. Sony wants everyone to play the PlayStation. Xbox wants everyone to play the Xbox. So, Nintendo, basically with the Switch and saying that they don't want to compete, is basically dropping out of that. But they're not dropping out because they're defeated. They're dropping out because they're better. I mean, when you think about it, making a console that can literally go anywhere, it's a home console. We're not talking about a console on the level of a 3DS, a DS, or a PSP. We're talking about taking a portable Wii U with you, a portable PlayStation, a portable Xbox with you anywhere. So, for Sony's competitor to that, I mean, like, if you want to talk about competitors being just new stuff each company has come out, then the Switch's competitor is the VR. The difference is, the Switch is a system, the VR is an accessory. So there's two totally different things, and they're probably going to be in the same price range, obviously, because the VR is expensive as crap. Actually, no, VR will not be $400. VR will probably spike 100. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. There may already be a price on the VR that I don't know about. But Microsoft has nothing. Microsoft doesn't need anything, and here's why. Because all of their gamers, they're occupied too much with the games to care about new stuff. For some reason, I just got a sense of Chuck E. Cheese, and I'm loving it. I just used a McDonald's quote for Chuck E. Cheese. Huh. But, so, fan went off again. Well, it went back on now. So, I don't know. And I may be stretching this video a little too much, but that interests me on how we have Xbox's fan base. They're too occupied in their own Xbox exclusive games, such as Halo. I was about to say Red vs. Blue because I watch Rooster Teeth. Such as Halo, and I know they have a few others too that I just don't know of. And I know they have the rights to Banjo and Kazooie. So technically they have Banjo and Kazooie, and they have Halo. So the fan base of Microsoft is too occupied in the Xbox exclusive games to give two craps about the VR and the Switch because they're too occupied. Wherever you have actual people who are interested in the competition, and really it's just Sony and Nintendo now. Because when you think about it, Nintendo stepping away from the competition is them stepping up to a new one, and Sony stepping up as well with the VR. Difference is, Sony, they've talked about VR for a while, Nintendo is just now getting to the NX, so it looks like Sony was here first, and then Nintendo. Microsoft's still down here. Microsoft may be doing something eventually, to amp up their game, but they're always going to be competitors. Whether or not... Now, there's different senses in what they can be competing in. For instance, up till now, they've been competing in home consoles, Xbox, PlayStation, Wii. So... And PlayStation and Nintendo have been competing with portable consoles. Xbox doesn't do that, at least I don't think they do. So, with this, they're all still going to be competing, but they're going to be competing on different terms, and that's a completely different ballpark. I mean, technically, Microsoft Windows owns Microsoft. I'm pretty sure. If that's the case, then Microsoft technically has their own phone, but that's competing with Apple, and that's competing with Google. That's not anything with the gaming side of Microsoft. Similar to Sony. Sony has so many different branches. Sony makes TVs. Nintendo doesn't compete with that side. So like I said, there's different terms. It's different branches of each company, but now they're branching off into different terms, but they're all still competing. So we have Nintendo's NX, Nintendo's Switch. Somebody just sent me 3 pictures maybe. And somebody else texted me. That's a weird number. That was like 40 minutes ago. But anyway, as I was saying, the Nintendo Switch... Oh, okay, never mind. The Nintendo Switch is competing in its hybrid, right? It's not a 3DS, and it's not a Wii U. It's not a portable console, or it's not a portable handheld, and it's not a portable... I apologize. It's not a handheld, and it's not a console. So they've created their own branch that they're diving into now, that Nintendo owns. So, and then we have PlayStation, which is still on the tree of home console, but they've created a new branch in their own right for virtual reality, with the helmet and the joystick and all that. So I'm glad that each of them now have, or the two at least. I don't know what Microsoft and Xbox is doing. But I'm glad the two of them have branched off against each other to where they're doing their own things, but they're still competing. That makes me happy, because that's a true friendly rivalry, and that's just not in marketing. I mean, like, because otherwise it would... Here, let me use another example of rivalry. Let's use Ash and Gary from the Pokemon anime. So, I mean, like, those two have been rivals since 96. Yeah, since 96, I believe so, or 96 or 97, depending when the anime came out. Those two have been rivals forever. They're under the same genre, meaning the same way Nintendo and Sony are. They're both under gaming, which is the genre. Ash and Gary are both under Pokemon. But they each have different styles of using their Pokemon. They each have different experiences doing such, and that's Nintendo and Sony. They each are going off into their own branches, having their own experiences, doing their own thing, while still competing. Gary and Ash have been rivals forever. Now, Ash gets a new rival every season, but still. And yeah, I completely overstretched this video. I was probably done 15 minutes ago, and I apologize for it. I've been recording probably now for 40 minutes. I apologize for the long video, but the NX is such a huge project, and I wanted to get everything covered while mentioning my own details and stuff. So, yeah, if you guys saw anything in the trailer that I didn't see, I would love for you guys to let me know what that was in the comments below and include the timestamp so I can go back and look at it. So anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. This is Gaming Jake logging out. Peace.